Hello everyone, so today I'll be talking about different types of Bluetooth technology and there's different types of Bluetooth devices that you can get, but you should know what type of Bluetooth technology that these Bluetooth devices are using. I think that's pretty important. So there's different types of Bluetooth devices, like there's Bluetooth keyboards, Bluetooth mice, Bluetooth game pads, Bluetooth headphones. I wonder if I said that. Okay, if I didn't, then I'll be saying it again. And there's Bluetooth speakers, and there's a host of different Bluetooth devices. Your car may have Bluetooth as well. You know, you could pair your smartphone to the Bluetooth speaker on your car or something. So that you could answer calls and stuff like that. So there's a wide array of Bluetooth devices, but you have to understand what type of Bluetooth technology that these Bluetooth devices are using. So let's start. Here in this chart you have the designation, the type of Bluetooth technology, whether that be Bluetooth 1.0 all the way down to Bluetooth 5 released in 2016, and the year that it was released, and the frequency. The frequency should be about the same, about 2.402 gigahertz to 2.485 gigahertz, around there. And the bandwidth is the data transfer, basically. So how much data you can transfer per second. So the first device we have is a Bluetooth 1.0, and this was released in 1999, and it has this frequency right here, and the bandwidth is about 0.700 megabits per second, or it's less than a megabyte. It's 0.0875 megabytes. So that's not a lot, basically. That's roughly, let me see how much that is. That's about 89.6 kilobytes per second. That's pretty slow. And Bluetooth 1.1 was released in 2001. That's the frequency. This is the bandwidth. It's about 0.7322 megabits per second, or about 92 kilobytes per second, or 0.092 megabytes per second. Not very fast either. Not very much of an improvement from Bluetooth 1. Bluetooth 1.2 released in 2003 with a frequency of that. It's 1 megabits per second, or 125 kilobytes per second, or 0.125 megabytes per second. So that's quite an improvement over the previous one. So it's roughly 1.35 times faster than Bluetooth 1, and 1.42 times faster than Bluetooth 1, basically. So it's faster, almost not double, but maybe about 35 to 40% faster. And there's Bluetooth 2 released in 2004, the frequency of that. So it has a transfer rate of 1 to 3 megabytes per second. This is theoretical, 3 megabytes, so it's roughly about 2.1 megabits per second in terms of transfer rates. So this is maybe about, realistically, about maybe 0.0263 megabytes per second. So it has anywhere from bandwidth of 0.125 megabytes per second to 0.375 megabytes per second. That's basically the bandwidth. And you have Bluetooth 2.0 with released in 2007, frequency of that. So roughly the same as Bluetooth 2 in terms of bandwidth. And you have Bluetooth 3 Plus HS released in 2009, and same frequency. Bandwidth is much faster now at 24 megabits per second, or 3 megabytes. So this is roughly 8 times faster than Bluetooth 2, and it's 34.28 times faster than Bluetooth 1, and it's basically, yes, 24 times faster than Bluetooth 1.2. So this is quite an improvement. And we have Bluetooth 4, released in 2010, with the same frequency, band limit ranges, and bandwidth of 1 megabit per second, or 125 kilobytes per second. So not very good. Then you have the BE version of Bluetooth 4, released at the same year, same bandwidth, about 3 megabits per second. And you have Bluetooth 4.1, released in 2013, with the same frequency at 25 megabits per second. This one is very common right now. You could basically buy this one anywhere, and it's very available. So it's about 25 megabits per second, or 3.125 megabytes per second. And you have Bluetooth 4.2, released in 2014, a year later from 4.1, has the same frequency, the same bandwidth as 4.1, which is 25 megabits per second, or 3.125 megabytes per second. Bluetooth 5, which is the latest one, released in 2016, with the same frequency at 50 megabits per second, or 6.25 megabytes per second. So that's pretty fast. So the more bandwidth you have, the faster it is. Basically, there's going to be less interruptions or latency, maybe. So we have different classes of Bluetooth. We have class 1, which is rated at 100 milliwatts, or 0.1 watt, and it has a maximum indoor range of 100 meters, or 333 feet, and a maximum this is outdoor range, sorry about that, 200 meters, or 600 feet. So it's basically used on laptop computers and desktop computers. Basically the Bluetooth adapters for desktop computers and laptop computers, basically. And we have class 2. So this uses the most power, and it has a greater range, basically. It has a higher bandwidth as well. When we have class 2, which has 2.5 milliwatts, or 0.0025 watts. So it's less than a watt. So all of this is less than a watt. So at 10 meters, or 33 feet. So outdoor range is 50 meters, or 165 feet. So you get more range when you're outside, because there's no walls or anything, or obstructions. And it's used for Bluetooth adapters on computers, laptops, and smartphones, and mobile devices like the iPad and tablet computers and stuff like that. We have class 3, which is 1 milliwatt, or 0.001 watt. It has a range of only 1 meter, or 3.3 feet. Not very far, not very useful. And an outdoor range of 10 meters, or 33 feet. And it's used in mobile devices. This is not very common because of the limited range. It's rarely used. So what you're going to have is mostly class 1 and class 2, which is used. So class 1 is very commonly used on laptops and desktop computers for Wi-Fi adapters. And class 2 is very commonly used on smartphones and tablets. and it's also used for many other things like game controllers, remote controls, keyboards, mice, other HID, human interface devices, and stuff like that. A whole array of things. And class 3, like I said, is not very commonly used because of its limited range. So these are the three classes that you have. So I guess the more power that it transmits in terms of watts means you're going to get more bandwidth and range, basically. And that's basically it for that. So I I use a lot of Bluetooth devices like Bluetooth headphones for my computer, especially at work, because I can't wear a headphone at work, So I just put in the ear. It's kind of like a Bluetooth earpiece. I put it in my ear so I can communicate with other people, of course, at work and stuff like that. And also, I use it for my smartphone. I pair it with my smartphone so I could answer calls without putting the phone next to my ears. It's very useful, and you can also answer phone calls with the Bluetooth wireless headset as well. So it's useful in that way, and I also have Bluetooth controllers. Sometimes I pair this with my smartphone if I want to use my smartphone as if I install the emulator on my smartphone. I don't want to play with a touch screen or anything because it's pretty crappy. The response time there's so much latency in it. So Bluetooth devices are definitely useful, and you should be aware of what type of Bluetooth device you get. So the higher bandwidth is of course better. So this doesn't connect to your Wi-Fi in any way. It just connects directly to the Bluetooth adapter on your computer, and some Wi-Fi adapters also have a Bluetooth adapter as well. It's kind of like a dual function, and basically it's like that. So anyways, thanks for watching. My Ace 1000KS 1975 signing out.